Hi guys, Tom Morrison here and welcome to the Delicate Knees Club. So if you're someone that is always having issues with your knees, or you're scared to move your knees, or you're scared to do certain things with your knees, this is going to be great for you. These drills are going to be awesome for you to try and do daily and to build up over time, and your knees are going to feel a lot happier for it as well. So what happens to a lot of people over the years is that they don't move their knees enough through their full ranges, and if you're only getting up out of a chair every now and again, that's kind of it. That eventually can turn into whenever you have to get up and down off the floor, that it becomes a big job. If you've no strength here to here, then your knees are going to feel really, really crabby. Okay, so it's really important that you regain that and you don't be afraid of moving your knees. Knees can take a lot more stress than you actually can think of, and when you never ever do stuff like that, that's where you start to run into problems. If you avoid moving them in all the ways they can move and you're scared to do things with them, that's actually the worst thing you can ever do for your knees. Okay, so chair is all you're going to need, and we're going to actually start sitting down, and we're going to start with the feet. Okay, if you have weak feet, whoop, the knees take the pounding forward. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is just spread our toes as much as we can, almost until you're trying to make your feet feel like they're going to cramp. So you're spreading the toes out like that as much as you can. And just hold that stretched out position, toes, trying to splay them out as much as you can. And then relax it off, shake your feet off a wee bit if you need to. And then we go again, spread the toes out as much as you can. And then from here, what we're going to try to do is a bit of Toebility. So if you struggle to do this, this is the first thing you want to try and improve on. So right foot, see, can you keep your big toe down completely? And just lift up your little toes by themselves. So you're pressing the big toe into the ground and you're just lifting up your little toes. You should feel a little bit of tension in your arch when you do that. And this starts to wake the muscles in your feet up. From there, you put the little toes down and you lift the big toe up by itself. So just the big toe is up. And you hold that position. And again, first time you ever try this, it might just not move at all. So it takes a bit of, use the fingers to help you get that, and then try and see, can you maintain it? And it's just something, over time practicing it, you'll start to get the hang of it. And then back down, and then the left foot. So press the big toe down, just lift the little toes up by themselves. And then, if that's okay, press the little toes down, lift the big toe up by itself. Just hold that position. And if you're doing good one foot at a time, you can go for both feet at a time. Big toe up, little toes down. Big toes down, little toes up. Big toe up, little toes down. Big toes down, little toes up. I almost forgot which one I was doing there. And then little toes down, big toes up. And then just shake it off for a second. And hopefully you'll find just from doing that for a few minutes that the muscles in your feet are like, whoa, what's going on? Okay, the better you get at those, the stronger of a base you're going to have, which then starts to carry upstream. So let's start to get a bit of movement into the knees. Best thing you can start to do for that is get your chair, have it set up in a position that you can use the chair to keep control of your weight. Okay, this is quite nice to actually do on stairs because you can have your banister in the wall to help you, but if you've only got the chair, that's okay. From here, you're just going to let yourself go into the deepest range that you can get. So you're trying to open up the knee fully, well actually close the knee, it's nicer to think about opening up the knee. So from here, you just see where you can get to and see how close you can get your bum down to your ankle. Okay, so I actually can't get quite far here. There's a lot of people who actually see their bum actually touching right down to the calf, but everyone's structure is different. Where you can get to will just be determined on your own bone shape, really. Okay, so it's really, really nice to get a nice stretch in the calf, and again, you're just relaxing into the knee, letting the things open up fully. And from here, you can move your knee in and out, nice and soft, nice and gentle. Keep as much weight in your hands here as you need to as well. And then just nice and slowly push yourself back up with your hands, rock yourself back, okay? So it's slightly different to what we're going to do after working on this. You're on the right leg now, so you're getting down deep as you can get and just trying to actually relax in that bottom position, okay? Really nice, just have the hands to help support you so that there's not any pressure on trying to hold yourself up or anything like that. This is like the most regressed version of a split squat that there is. A split squat is whenever you actually are here and you go down into this position and you actually do reps like that on the floor. All this is that, but easier, okay? So here, you're able to control your weight more and you don't have as far to get up from the floor as well, okay? So now again, you press yourself back from here and take the leg down. So that's what you can do to start getting a bit of motion into the knees. If this is where you need to stay, you can stay here and just work at this one, okay? And if you work on squeezing the bum of the back leg as well, you can work on extending the back leg hip too. So it's a nice stretch for the back leg hip. Heel can be down, but if it comes up a little bit, it's not the end of the world, okay? And what you'll find as well is if you let your heel come up completely, you'll probably find you're able to get a bit deeper into it as well. So it just depends where you're at with things, what will feel most comfortable to you. But ideally you want either heel up, heel down, it doesn't matter. And you can bounce around in that position as well over time, okay? If this all feels okay, what I want you to try this time is actually to use the muscles of your leg to push you back up. So you're actually thinking about pressing yourself back up, okay? Most people will have enough strength from here to here. It's this point here where there's no strength that you're going to run into the most problems. You're going to tweak your knee when you're getting up off the floor or something unexpected happens. This is where you want to start to build the strength. So you're pressing yourself back up nice and slowly and you're feeling all the muscles here working for you. You're not thinking about putting pressure through the knee and pushing through the knee as much as you can. You're thinking about pressing in and making these muscles actually feel like they're doing something to bring you back, okay? And then back forward, feel the muscles be loaded, all in the hips, everything's working and you're being strong in the position and you're teaching your body how to use these things to make the joint move rather than the joint just moving for the sake of moving. And one more, nice and slow. Nice and slow, control the bottom range. So what you want to avoid is, no strength. You want to go slow, 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 slow. And again, use your hands for any assistance that you may need. Swap legs, right leg. So nice and slow, we bring it in. And then we think about pressing and we go nice and slow, controlled the whole time. And then back down. Nice and slow. Nice and controlled. Then we press it back up. And then last one. Nice and slow. And then we press back up. So that starts to get a bit of full range into the knees. The other thing you can work on here is for a lot of people with, that are scared to move their knees or have knee pain, this position here is generally a nightmare. Like doing this like scares people. I used to, this is as far as I could go. Like I felt like if I was trying to force it, my knees wouldn't explode years ago. And it was just something that I couldn't do at all. And just through doing martial arts for a while, it just started to rectify itself just through repetition. How you can start to do this, if you're someone with a knee replacement, by the way, as well, it's always best to get in-person advice. But what you'll probably find with a lot of these is there's a certain point you get to and it just stops. It doesn't go any further. That's where you basically want to hang out. You don't want to try and force the joint into a deeper position. Same thing with this one here. So I'm setting up so that my foot is actually off the chair, okay? So a lot of people struggle with the foot if they're sitting on their heels like this. Then I actually feel like it's their ankle that's limiting them. So I'm actually going to have my foot off the chair. So only my knee and my shin is on here. I'm supporting myself with this leg and this hand. Then from here, I can just sit myself down until I feel like I've got a nice stretch in the quad. And then I can try and think about bringing myself up. So I'm trying to think about my glute bringing me back up. So I'm here, down, nice stretch. And then I'm thinking about pressing like that. So I'm trying to do this with my leg, okay? I'm not just pushing myself back up. I'm actually thinking about pressing in like that, nice and slowly. And you can mix this in and kind of use your hand at the same time as well and just make the muscles work. So again, we're back up, keeping the breathing relaxed the whole time. Squeeze the glute at the top and then load the muscles nice and slowly. Back down and then press, back up, squeeze, and then back down. And then push, back up. This was another thing years ago I couldn't do at all. I couldn't kneel on this knee. I have Osgood Slatters, if you've ever heard of that. It's a big bump here on my knee, and I went through a period for a lot of years that I could not tolerate any pressure on that whatsoever. Kneeling on the floor, totally impossible. It was awful, but it's totally fine now, which is awesome. So other side, I'm going to turn my attractive side to you. So from here, and again, this is just for coaching points. From here, my foot is off. I sit myself back and down. I get a nice stretch, and then I bring myself back up, squeezing the glute. Trying to think about getting a stretch in the glute, stretch in the quad here. And then I think about squeezing the glute and bringing myself back up by doing that motion there, okay? And then back down, back up, squeeze, back and away, back up, squeeze, back down, and then back up, finally. So you can keep a bit of a forward lean in this position here, and it stops how much weight's going through the leg, but over time, as long as you feel comfortable, you can start to sit yourself up more and more upright in that bottom position there as well, okay? So next thing we want to do is wake up the hamstrings. If you've got good strong hamstrings, knees feel a lot happier as well. So from here, we're going to use the chair to help us to keep our position. Stand in front of your chair, and what you're going to do is actually imagine you're sitting down in another chair that's actually behind you. So from here, you're reaching your hips back and away until you feel the backs of your legs being lengthened. You want to feel your hamstrings here at the back of the legs being lengthened and stretched out, but you want to feel strong in this position. From here, you think about squeezing your glutes to stand you up until you get a maximal squeeze at the top, okay? And then the hips go back and away. Tap your chair in front of you, and then from there, think about that glute squeeze to make you stand up. So squeeze, boom, to the finished position. Hips back and away. Find your chair. Bring yourself back up. Squeeze, back and away. Loading the hips, loading the glutes, loading the hamstrings, as if you were going to take off, okay? That's what you want to think about. Make these strong. Hips back and away. And then back up and squeeze. Step a wee bit away from your chair. Hips back and away. Try and tap your chair. Back up again. And then step a wee bit further back from your chair. And again, hips back and away. Try and get that touch to the chair. And then back up again. So if that all feels good, you feel the hamstrings are working well, you want to then practice that going one leg at a time. So from here, hips go back and away, and then you're going to transfer your weight to your left leg, put your hands on your chair, take your right leg back nice and slowly, and see can you hold that position. If you're confident enough, try and float the hands. If you feel you're going to fall, put the hands down, but try and hold this position. Try and build the stability there. Knees don't like to be caught off guard. This is how you can train your knees to be more stable. Boom, boom, boom. And again, you want to make sure you're feeling the hamstring in this position. The glutes loaded. If you need to put the hands down at any point, you can. But ideally, you want to get to the point where you could just stand here all day long and have a boogie, and it wouldn't feel challenging to you. Okay? And then the other leg. So hips go back and away. We go to the right leg, get our balance. Leg goes back. And then we hold. So you're strengthening the foot here. You're working on the stabilization of the knee, stabilization of the hip as well. And you're training the hamstrings in this position here. And again, you want to get to the point where you can stand and have a boogie at any point. Also, with knees, like you have the ability to actually be able to rotate here in this position. Don't try this if it's your first time. But you actually have that ability to do that. And if you never ever train it, When it happens when you're not expecting it, then you don't have it. We don't want that. And then squeeze the glute, whoop, to stand up, okay? So, some really good drills to work on for your knees. Practice them daily. Make yourself better at them. Even just pick one a day to just spend 10 to 15 minutes on and only do that drill that day for your knees. And what you'll find over time is that this becomes more comfortable to you and you'll actually feel free to be able to move around in that position and feel actually like you've got a bit of strength there as well. You want that strength in those end ranges so that you don't get caught off guard. And so getting up and down off the floor, things like that are always accessible to you because that ultimately is the important stuff. Okay guys, so hope you enjoyed. Leave me a comment and I'll see you all very soon.